And this is the Algebra 1 quick review, and we want to take a look at infinite sequences. All right, so the first possibility is divergent infinite sequence. It's divergent. All right, and here's what it means. As n increases, it approaches either positive infinity or negative infinity. So as n increases, it either approaches positive infinity or negative infinity. Let me show you a couple examples. Here we've got the sequence -3, -9, -27, -81, ... So this goes on forever, and you can see it's getting more and more negative as it goes. This thing is approaching negative infinity. It's a divergent infinite sequence. Here's a different form here. K of n equals 5n minus 1. So let me do a couple values here. So if I do k sub 1, then I have 5 times 1 minus 9, and I get what? A -4. If I do k sub 10, I get 50 minus 9, and I get 41. If I do k sub 100, I get 500 minus 9, or 491. Do you see where the sequence is heading? It's heading off to positive infinity, a divergent infinite sequence. Okay, so divergent, it was one possibility, therefore convergent is the other. Convergent. All right, so what's the difference in the look? Well, convergent infinite sequences increase as it approaches a real number. A real number. So it approaches a real number. It doesn't approach infinity. It approaches like 7, 3, -4, -11, etc. Those kinds of possibilities. All right, so let me show you an example of an infinite sequence. All right, so suppose we have d of n equals 5n plus 1 over 2n. And really what we want to do is find the limit. And the limit as n approaches infinity is, what is that real number that it's approaching? So that's what this means. Hey, what real number is it approaching? All right, and so to do this, what I'm simply going to do is I'm going to put in some different values. All right, let me start with 1, d of 1. So we get 5 plus 1 over 2, and what do we get here? 6 over 2, and we get a 3. Let's do 10. So I get 50 plus 1 is 51 over 20. 51 over 20. And so again, what am I at here? I'm getting smaller. All right, 51 over 20, I'm getting smaller. Let's grab my calculator here. So this is a 2.55. All right, let's do d of 1,000. We'll go up there. So that's 5,001 divided by 2,000. So calculator, 5,001 divided by 2,000 equals 2.505. See what's happening here? Let me do 100,000. Okay, so that's 500,001. So I'm punching this into my calculator. Divided by 2 times 100,000 is 200,000. And this time I get, watch, 2.5, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, and then a 5. Do you see what's happening here? Getting smaller, smaller, smaller. So what is the limit on this? What real number is it approaching? And the real number is 2.5. It's a rational number, right? And rationals are real. And if you want to give it in fractional form, of course, it would be 5/2, right? So that's the limit. Convergent and divergent sequences. So divergent, an infinite sequence that heads to either positive infinity or negative infinity. Convergent, an infinite sequence that heads to a real number, and we call that real number the limit as n approaches infinity. Okay, all right, that's it.